Hello, today I will be giving you a sketchbook tour because of a lot of school stuff that's been going on and a pandemic. You can't physically go through my sketchbook, and I kind of wanted to give you a guide to make it a bit more personal and to give you a bit more insight of some of blander looking stuff. I do try to decorate a lot of aspects of my sketchbook. Hopefully this shows that I'm improving slowly and putting a lot of effort. So this is the sketchbook that I started with in 2 terms ago, which was photography. A lot of things changed for it. Like this wasn't painted in all black, as you can see, November. Some of the sketchbook's pages are not labeled and some of them are. If they are, it typically means that I did this pre-painting term because of the fact I stopped doing it, which makes me feel bad because I know you love dates in this one. So yeah, here's the date here. And the sketch was made on that date, but the painting aspect of it wasn't done until March. So yeah, here was a collage and planning for things that I liked. I did a blackout poem, which can also count, I guess, for the book thing. I forget what it was called. Then I did a watercolor drawing thing-ish where I just drew out the shapes in watercolor and then filled in with my imagination of what these characters are with shape language. This was just a bunch of photos that I really liked at the time. This was me taking notes. Here are my photography rules with my thumbnail sketches. I really liked, I want to say, this one out of these 4 pages. Out of the other ones, I had other stuff. These are more notes. I'm very into world building and making like little worlds, so I wanted to do a little bit like thumbnail sketches for like fantasy like worlds. This coloring end did not look nice, so I gave up on it. This little baby bottle thing I thought was so cute. Then I thought of cool character designs. I didn't really evolve them that much. I just tried doing character rotations and such. Here's another one of the photography rules and terminology. Here's an empty page. Here is a note about Jeffrey Wall. I'm not going to read the entire thing because I feel like it's not that important. But yeah. Here was a art challenge thing that I did with music and how characters can communicate and with music and such, and aesthetic through music, and yeah. Another empty page. This was about photography lighting, and in between I did sketches of my hands with pen. Here's another one of that. Again, here's the last page of the photography terminology, and my favorite one would have to be this one just because of how dark I went with the darks. And I really liked how I pushed myself. Also, I just really like this egg on this page. I just want to take a moment to appreciate that. That was colored in, the highlight was pre-colored in with highlighter, okay? So I really like that. I thought that was cool. Here's another one. Again, here was planning for stuff, a photography project that we had. Here was just me sketching someone. Here was the final photography project that I did planning for. Here are the my depictions of what the Teletubbies would be if they were attractive anime protagonists. I don't know why. I mean, I know why I did this, but I don't know why I was so compelled to do it. Eventually, at this point, I was in drawing, the unit of drawing, and I started looking up a lot of CalArts sketchbooks, and what they had in common was that you have to, they said they have this rule of thumb where you just sketch in pen, which I thought was very interesting because you see a lot of these animators and artists that just sketch in pen and like in every one of their sketchbooks, and they'll say the same thing. For the reasoning behind this is because that it makes your lines more permanent, and I think I actually understood what that meant and the real meaning behind line weight through this. So what I did was a sort of figure study, but instead of, you know, taking pictures, I did of an actual moving thing, which was a dance cover video that I found on YouTube, and I slowed it down so that I could sketch each and every one of these poses in the dance thing of not each girl, but one of the some poses that I thought were really dynamic in what they were doing and stuff that I found to be hard. Later, I colored their hair in with Sharpie to really get the blacks in. This is when I officially started drawing the drawing unit with the assignment of drawing each and every element of a face, and the self-portrait note was given out. Here's another one of those figure studies, but I did it to a dancing video. This was with a whole bunch of guys because last time I did it with a whole bunch of girls, so I went in to, you know, practice that. And you see, like, this was my first two that I did, and as you can see, I was very rusty, but you know, as I just tried to really find the shapes, it became like more clearer. This one was me deciding which one of the poses that I want. I went for the first one, but mixed with this, I believe. Yeah, and I zoomed more in, I think. But yeah, here's another drawing slash painting because I painted over it. Originally I was gonna paint this in watercolor, but I realized that the watercolor and this just did not go well together, so I just left it as being bluish purple. This is another side. This again is just me ranting because I typically rant a lot. These are again the shape things. Here are little paper cutout stuff that I wanted to make because I thought it was cute during quarantine. Here's a bunch of figure and character design that I try to make dynamic poses for. This was ear. Here was the thing that I was going to fill up. Here was a planning for a banner that I made for the coffee house. If you went to it, you would have noticed that I chose with this one. Here was planning for our French project, and I wanted to make a little storybook for it, so I wanted to do that and see how we could elaborate that. This was like sticking to our character design. Here's the mouth. Basically, here was a painting that ended up looking super bad at first because I all did it in marker, and I didn't really understand color theory that much, so I implemented a lot of my Monet stuff into this because there was a whole bunch of lilies. There was a lily pad originally just on his head, so I decided to go for that. And then the sky was just a little thing that me and my brother did because I wanted to bond with my brother. Here's where the textiles and patterns went with. We had to do each in every different type of tessellation, which was translation. Here was the shape that I have for it. Again, here's like the book aesthetic thing. We have this. And there's another one. This was rotation, obviously. And this was a painting that I worked on during that, which you can kind of see. I already do like magic realism, but this was with mixed media more so. And this was, I want to say flipping, or sorry, reflection. This is my note on tessellations and what I wanted to do. Here is me working on my background. Here are all the note sheets that we had for that unit. Here was some extra paper that I had from it, and here's me talking about buildings. Here's me trying to sketch in pen again because I like trying to do that. Here was me planning for my tessellation metamorphosis. Here were me trying to draw the VeggieTale characters as attractive anime protagonists. Then by this time I've hit a art block and I didn't like what I was drawing for some weird reason. Every time I drew something, every time basically I put the pen on the paper, it just did not work. And some of these drawings might not exist. Some pages will literally be semi-empty because that's how I felt, because I wasn't really doing much. So then I thought, okay, maybe I just need to do more sketches. And I wasn't really proud of any of them except for the frog, but they weren't really just there. Here was another painting that I didn't execute. Here was the Portrait Artist of the Year 2020 thing that we started. Again, by this time we are in the painting term. Here are a bunch of animals that I wanted to paint for some of them. I ended up going with a B, but you know, some of these animals are still valid, and I still think I still painted a fish over there. Then I did fruits as characters, just like characters if they were in like a little sitcom show. I did a little world but with one color, and I thought that was cool. I want to paint over it eventually, and I'm considering of getting like paint markers because the colors look so vibrant and I just want to experiment with colors. So yeah, here was also the planning of my magic realism painting. So we go to this sketchbook because I stopped working in that sketchbook. And I didn't like what I was executing in there, and I wasn't as passionate when I went in that sketchbook. And as soon as I started drawing what I wanted to draw and what I was passionate about drawing, I realized that I just liked more of the stuff that I was drawing. So here's the first page. Again, I started the sketchbook on May 5th, a little bit earlier than when I stopped officially on here, but I kind of started morphed my way into here. Some sketches, some thumbnail sketches of paintings that I wanted to execute are in here. So you'll see some ideas in marker because I feel like the thick marker really just defines the lines and makes everything permanent. Here's another one. You can barely see it because it's such a light marker, but you know, here's another painting idea that I had. Then I started drawing my original characters and I started making reference sheets and studying. These were all in with the watercolor paper because I colored them in with watercolor. This was a digital sticker that I made. Here were some action scenes that I wanted to fight and experiment with. Here again is just like character done. I wanted to color it in with watercolor. This is a whole page of fan art of art and animation that just really inspired my style personally. And here's some more original characters. Here's me critiquing my characters from the beginning of this year and what they looked like this year compared to what they look like now. So yeah, I even do a little frog. Here's a comic that I did, and here was me trying to be philosophical while watching a movie, and it was a good movie, and it made me question what really makes a good story. So yeah, here's another comic that I was sketching out. Here's a redraw of a comic that I did when I was in grade 7. Here's some more like character card art. Here's me experimenting with different styles and with my original characters. Here is some color that we're trying to pop through, and again, better with colors and choosing colors to shade, and better with markers now, so we can do that. A lot of artists have helped me on YouTube. I started doing more traditional figure studies. So each figure study took about a minute to do. So here that is. Here's some more fan art, I guess. And then here were just sketches that I did beside this figure study, because this one was my last. And I just thought these looked so bland by themselves, so I needed to color on the outside of them, and that's what I also did with here, but I did them in like straight lines because it shows more action, and this is all about finding the line of action. Here is one of those book opening things. This picture right here on the bottom is mine. It's a picture of me. I took this picture. The rest is not mine. I do not own this except for the books, I guess, but they're not my words. Again, here's me trying to develop just character traits and positive and negative, and see how my cast really complement each other or not. And then here's me coloring the original characters. Here's me making a comic about them. And here is my magic realism painting in the works. I do want to finish this painting by the end of the summer, or by the end of this month, really, or next week, because I feel like I can, first of all, and second of all, I don't like it when like I have an unfinished painting in here, because I feel like I'll just be very unmotivated. And that is my sketchbook so far. I hope that you liked it. I hope that you can enjoy the content that this brings you, and I hope this makes you hopeful that I am drawing with these tough times, and drawing has helped me through these very tough times, even when I was sick and I thought that I was hopeless. And thank you.